Good day, ma'am. I am Jedrick Aldonera from Base IT 1B, representing our voting system. Problem description. Voting categories. The system allows voting for three positions. Mayor can vote can have three candidates. Vice mayor also have three candidates, and councillor with six candidates. Our voting process. Each voter selects one candidate per position by entering the corresponding number for their choice, and three vote for councillor. Count. Vote counting. Votes are stored and updated for each candidate in each position after every vote. Display vote counts. After each round of voting, the current vote counts for each candidate in all positions are displayed. Can also have multiple voters. The system allows multiple users to vote and continues until the user decides not to vote again. And end of voting. The program ends by thanking the user when they choose not to vote again. Number 2. List of situations when selecting structure is used. Validating user input. The program ensures the user enters a valid choice for a candidate. If the input is invalid, number outside the valid range, the program repeatedly asks the user to provide a valid choice, asking to vote again. After the votes are cast and displayed, the program checks if the user wants to allow another round of voting. If the user enters Y or gamay Y, the program continues. Otherwise, it exits. Number 3. List of situations when looping structure is used. Displaying candidates. A loop is used to list all the candidates for a given position, like mayor, vice mayor, or councillor. Validating user input. A while loop is used to repeatedly ask the user to enter a valid choice if the input is invalid. Displaying vote counts. Two separate for loops are used to display the current vote count for mayor, vice mayor, and councillor candidates. Allowing multiple votes, a do while loop is used to let user vote multiple times until they decided to stop.
Good day everyone, my name is Sunjun Lena. I am from BSIT 1B, and today I will be explaining the flowchart of our program voting system. And in the flowchart, we will start at start. And after, when you run the code, first the code will, the flowchart will get the variable mayor and mayor votes. This mayor will store the counts. This mayor will stand as the names, and the mayor vote will stand as the number of votes. So display voting option for mayor. So it will display all candidates that are stored in mayor string. Because since mayor is an array, in mayor they have 3 string. And after, the user will input a choice, which they will select which candidate will they have to vote. After they voted a candidate, it will increment the vote for the selected mayor candidate. After the selected vote mayor candidate, it will store in the mayor's vote. After it's stored, it will proceed to the next position, which is vice mayor. Same as mayor, this vice mayor variable is an array which stores the names of the candidates. And this vice mayor votes will store the number of votes. So it will display vice mayor candidates. User will input their choice of the candidate, and it will increment the vote of the selected vice mayor candidate. So we will proceed to the councillor vote, or councillor vote. The variable is same as the mayor and vice mayor, but this councillor you will have to choose 3. So it will display all the councillor candidates, and it will let you choose 3. So it will start to the first councillor vote. So in the first councillor vote, it will ask you to input which councillor you have voted. And after, there will be an if else to check if the councillor has been voted before. If yes, it will prompt the user to vote another councillor. If not, it will mark the first councillor as voted, and it will store the vote in the first councillor votes. And after, it will proceed the second councillor vote. It will check if you have voted the first. For example, you have voted the councillor representative number 1. If yes, it will prompt you to select another councillor. So after you choose another councillor which haven't been voted before, it will proceed to the third councillor, and it will increment the second councillor candidate. So here in councillor candidate, it will increment the councillor vote of the candidate you have voted. And third councillor vote is same as the first and second. And now, after the mayor, vice mayor, and councillor voting, it will ask the user if there is more voters, or will you vote more. If you will not vote more, you can press any key. So it will just end the program. if you or another vote will vote, you can just press capital Y or Y, and it will reset the vote and repeat the process. Meaning of the reset the vote, it will reset the vote, not the number of votes, because resetting the vote can make the councilor representative vote again. If it's not resettable, then in another voter, the voted councilor will not get vote again. So we need to reset the votes of the councilor to vote them again in the next voter, and it will still count its vote. So it will start here if you press Y or capital Y. So let's start the explanation of the program. So here is our program of the voting system. So first, let me showcase the program before proceeding to the explanation. So in this program, there's an array, variables, and there's a do while loop, for loop, and if else, another variable, if else, do while, and if else. So these if else are used in this councilor vote. It will check the three councilor vote if it's repeated. So let's start from the beginning. In this highlights, these are the string where you will input the candidates for the mayor, vice mayor, and councilor. So when you run the for loop, it will just loop the array. So it will just show all the representative of the position. Next to the next will be the next is the variable. So this mayor votes, vice mayor votes, councilor chosen. So this will store the vote count. That's why we have 3, 3, 6. These are the maximum of the candidates. Since mayor has 3 string, so 3 string, so it will put maximum of 3, maximum of 3, maximum of 6. And in this councilor chosen variable is to track the councilor has been voted for. And now this is the variable for the vote. Mayor's choice, vice mayor's choice, councilor choice 1, 2, and 3. It will store your vote in this to transfer your vote to the here in mayor's vote variables. In the variable of votes. So here, to start the program, you will see a new vote and vote for mayor. So here, we use for loop for this since it can be easily accessible to loop the names of the candidates. And now the printf is to show all the candidates, and scanf is to input the integer of which candidate you have been voted. So as you can see, we don't use if else. Since we use scanf, so it can just scan your input integer and you can just store in this mayor's choice. Yes, because it's pretty easy if you use it this way. And same as vice mayor. And same as councilor. But the councilor is a bit different since it will check your vote if it's repeated or not. So first we have make an variable valid vote to 1. Because if the vote is repeated, it will move to 0. So if the while had detected the variable of valid vote to 0, it will print you have already voted for the representative. Please select another councilor. And this if else is to mark the councilor voted if you have already voted the first councilor. This is same as the second and third, and they have used the same variable as the so this is current vote count. So we will now explaining this current vote count. So the first current vote count to be shown is mayor, and this is the for loop to use to loop the mayor and mayor votes. So this mayor, this is the array, and this is I is to show how many mayor are in there to loop. And since there are 3, we have one input in here in the loop 3. Variable is less than to 3 since there are 3 candidates in mayor. Same as vice mayor and councilor. Councilor has 6 because it has 6 representative. So now it will, after the current vote count is shown, the system or the program will ask you, would you like to vote again? Asking the user if the vote to continue. If yes, the user will type Y or capital Y to continue. If not, any key will close the program. And there, and that is the end of the program. Now I will be giving this to Era to showcase the run of the program.
Hello, ma'am. Again. Now we will present the output of our code. This is our output. First, you will enter the number of the candidate you want to vote. For example, if you want to vote Jane Yap, you just have to write number 1. Number 1. Loading man. Number 1. Then enter. Now you have to vote for Vice Mayor again. For example, you want Gonzaga Dodong. You have to enter number 2. To vote for councillor, you have to pick 3 candidates. Now you have to enter your first councillor you want to vote. For example, you want Toralba Atoy, then number 1. Then you want to vote again for number 2. And then for number 3. Now that's the current vote count. You have 1 vote for Jane Yap, 1 vote for Vice Mayor for Gonzaga Dodong, and 1 vote for each of these councillor. If you want to vote again, you have to pick with yes, which means is Y. You have to put Y. Why? Oh, sorry, F. So you have Y. Then enter. Now, if you want to vote for Lim Dan Neri, you have to put number 2. Then again, if you want number 1, then 1 for each of this councillor naman. So we have number 4, 5, and if, for example, you have to vote 4 again. If you enter that, it's not counted because you have already voted for number 4. Now you have to select again for the councillor. So you have to enter the 3rd councillor you want to vote because it's already voted for your first. Now you have to vote number 6. Then not. You have 1 vote. If you want to vote again for this vote, then you have to vote yes again. Why? Ay, sorry. Okay. Now, if you want to continue, you have to type yes again. Type Y. Now, if you want to vote for the same candidate again, if you want to vote Jimmy Yap again, you have to put 1. Then, you have to put 2 again. And 1 for each 3 candidates. So 1, 2, and 3. Now, the vote of Jane Yap is now 2 because before you vote for Jane Yap, now you have to vote again. So it's now counted as 2. Now, if you want to end this vote, you just have to type N. If you type N or any type of keywords, it will now end. Now, you have voting.
So thank you everyone for listening.
And that's it for our
Voting system.
Sing. Tres mo.